Good afternoon, welcome to Renkoji Temple. We have a special guest here today visiting us from Moscow, Reverend Felix Shvedovski from Nipponzan Myōhōji Temple in Moscow. Reverend Felix, his Dharma name is Gyōshin'in Nichinyō Shōnin, and he, besides being a very active priest of Nipponzan and peace activist, he's also a prolific writer and has written a total of 5 books which have all been published, and one of the books we're going to show you here later on today. We're very, very honored to have Reverend Shvedovski here together with us. This is all in occasion of our grand Ueshki ceremony for 2014, which will be held at Renkoji Temple here in Cerezeto, in Piemonte, on the 11th and 12th, Saturday and Sunday of October. Now, Reverend Shvedovski is, as I said, is a prolific writer. He's been very involved with a number of peace movements and social activists to help, with the spirit of Buddhism, help also to contribute to the well-being, welfare of society, not only of his own Buddhist community. And with that, I would like to now to pass the word over to Reverend Shvedovski, and so that he can tell you a little bit about himself, how he became a priest, and a little bit of the background of why he's come here today to talk with us. Okay, Reverend Shvedovski.
I became monk in 1994 at a very complicated time in my country, just after the bloody battle which took place in Moscow in the October of 1993. I was ordained by Reverend Gyōshin'in Shōnin, the monk of Nipponzan Myōhōji order, which was founded by Venerable Nichidatsu Fuji in 1917. It is the year of Russian October Revolution, so the interconnection between our country and the Nipponzan Myōhōji order is something mystical. And from this time I am studying Buddhism of Lotus Sutra from my teacher, Reverend Shōnin. We call him in Russia Sensei. And I came here rather occasionally, but because of this I could visit the temple of Shoryo Tarabini and I'm very grateful for him, for his hospitality. I visited before Bari, where we, delegation of 5 Russian writers and poets, had some little meeting with the local poets community. We also visited Monopoly, and I came here.
Reverend Shvedovski, we're very happy to have you here with us. We'd like to welcome you to Renkoji Temple. And I met the Reverend Shvedovski for the first time when, as just a very freshly ordained monk, just completed all of my studies at Shami, novice, and some of the monks near in southern Tokyo, near Ikegami Honmonji Temple, where I resided, asked me to go with them to Moscow. And there we went in February, and I was very impressed with the people there. to see many people in Moscow chanting Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, which is not something I expected to see. We walked outside. Another surprise I had, I'll never forget, is that there was about 1.5 meters, almost, not quite 2 meters, but 1.5 meters of snow everywhere, and there was a few birds, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's so wonderful, spring has come." And then I looked around, and all I could see was snow everywhere. And in fact, it was snowing. But I thought, where is spring? I don't know. But this has reminded me, today when he came, reminded me of that episode in my life. We have kept in contact over the years, and I don't go to Russia so often, and Reverend Shvedovski has not come to Italy so often either, and so for us it's been a very special opportunity for us to see each other again. Renkoji temple donated a mandala gohonzon to their center. They have a very, very large mandala gohonzon written by Nichinyō Shōnin, the founder of Nipponzan Myōhōji, but also to the side in front of their central altar is this mandala gohonzon which we donated many years ago. And so I'm very, very happy and honored to be able to have him come here for the first time to our small temple here in Cerezeto. Now, Reverend Shvedovski, I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding Nipponzan, because as we all know, originally Nipponzan was the founder, the Venerable Nichinyō Shōnin was originally a Nichiren Sho priest, and so the origins of Nipponzan is coming from Nichiren Sho. Nipponzan then became a separate school, but has always remained in close contact, and we collaborate very closely together, even since that time. So I would like to ask you a little bit now about the history of Nipponzan Myōhōji.
Nipponzan Myōhōji was founded by Venerable Nichidatsu Fuji after he completed study not only in Nichiren Shu but also in all another the general schools in Japan. So he studied in Zen school and Rinzai school and some other schools, and everywhere he was recognized as a master. But he decided to found a new Buddhist order because he wanted completely to dedicate himself for the practice of beating drum and pronouncing Namo Myoho Renge Kyo all over the world, being not attached to some one temple, but being a traveling monk. And of course, during his life, the idea of Nipponzan Myōhōji developed, and gradually it became the idea of peacemaking traveling, when monks of Nipponzan Myōhōji organized peace marches all over Europe, especially after the end of Second World War, and when new Cold War began between capitalist countries and communist bloc of countries in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union. Especially after the atomic bomb was dropped to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Nipponzan Myōhōji started to build symbols of peace, peace pagodas. Firstly in Japan, then in India, fulfilling the prophecy of Nichiren of returning Dharma of Buddha, Dharma of Lotus Sutra sun from east to the west, as it is prophesied by Nichiren in the Hatimano prophecy. And building these peace pagodas not only in India but next in Europe, in London, in Austria, in Vienna, in America, was the purpose was to awake grassroots in these countries, the movement of ordinary people for the peace, for nuclear disarmament, regardless of faith. They could be not only Buddhist but also Christian, Muslims, American Indians. All of them gathered together around peace pagodas, gathered together doing peace marches. Before, at the beginning it was little peace marches, only maybe tens of people, but at the end it became few thousand, few hundred of thousands of people who are walking with the prayer for peace, with the prayer to end Cold War. So it is the history of Nipponzan Myōhōji in brief.
Very good, thank you. Well, and now I also heard that there is now there are more also peace pagodas have been built. In fact, we have one here in northern Sicily, in Comiso,
Yes.
here in Italy. So this continuing all over the world to build these peace pagodas, which are dedicated to the Lotus Sutra, the life of the Buddha, but above all the life of the eternal illumination or enlightenment of the Buddha, which can be seen through the mandala Gohonzon and Namyo Rengekyo. So in that respect, Nipponzan Myōhōji, the spirit is exactly the same as Nichiren Shō and that of Nichiren Shōnin. And after this, after Reverend Shvedovski also explained that he joined up with the Reverend Terasawa, and that he was very, I think, moved by Reverend Terasawa, and himself then decided to devote himself to the Dharma, and he became a believer first, and then in 1994, actually on the Buddha's birthday, April the 8th, he entered the Nipponzan Myōhōji order and was ordained. On the anniversary of the Buddha's enlightenment, that is the 8th of December in 1997, he was also then bestowed the Dharma name of Gyōshin'in Nichinyō Shōnin by his master. He's worked very, very hard over a number of years to promote Buddhism not only in Moscow, but also in Ukraine and countries surrounding Russia, and also in Central Asia. And I remember when I was in Moscow, we talked about some of their activities in Central Asia, and also many monks came from also Ukraine. So I would like now to ask you, Reverend, about the Moscow community and also its connection with Nichiren Shu, and maybe also, actually too, it seems that there's also some connection with the Rishoko Sekai. So other Nichiren groups who are very closely related to Nichiren Shu have all kind of worked together in the past to be able to promote the Lotus Sutra and Nichiren Shonin's writings. So could you please tell me a little bit about the Moscow community?
Yes.
And also, I think Moscow University was also involved in some of these. Very prestigious Moscow University was involved in some of these activities.
Yes. First of all, my personal connection with Nichiren school started in 1994, after I was ordained in 8th of January. Then Terasawa Chunin invited me to Japan in September of 1994, and in fact the people who made the invitation for me and another newly ordained monks were people from Nichiren school. It was Ishii Shōnin and Ando Shōnin and a few others.
Maybe Shibuya Shōnin?
Yes. So I was so impressed by their hospitality when we came to Japan. After this, for maybe 5 years, I practiced mainly alone in Moscow, and together with another monk, Timur, we created not so big community. Of course, when Tarasawa Shōnin came to Moscow, many people gathered, but mainly it was people who were interested in some foreign Japanese who come to Moscow, but people who could continue practice day by day was very few. And so in 1997 we registered our community, and at that moment it was about 10 people who were really practicing day by day Lotus Sutra. And in fact this number, 10 people, is still up to until today. It is the same number, though it is different people are changing. And in 1999 we again met with Nichiren school, and the reason was rather important. We published, not we published, but it was published in Moscow by editorial house Ladomir, Lotus Sutra in Russian language. It was translated by a professor of Moscow University of the Institute of Countries of Asia and Africa, ISAA, Professor Alexander Nikolaevich Ignatovich. Now he is passed away. He dedicated, in fact, all his life for the translation of Lotus Sutra and of a few writings of Nichiren Daishonin to Russian language. Of course, he wanted to do more and to translate fully the writings of Nichiren Shōnin, but unfortunately he died. And the translation of Lotus Sutra was made with the consultation of Tarasawa Shōnin and with the great financial and also editing help of Rishoko Shikai. So in 1999 it was the evening of gratitude to Ignatovich and many monks of Nichiren school again. We met, they came to Moscow, in fact, first time. It was a big evening in the Moscow University. By the way, I am the graduate of Moscow University of journalist faculty. So for me it was also very good that I could pay gratitude by dharma for my alma mater. And the second time Nichiren school monks and Tarabini Shōnin was among them, came to Moscow in after 2 years, in 2001, when another book of Ignatovich, already after his death, was published. It was the book which was called School of Nichiren, and it was about 5 writings of Nichiren. It was Rissho and Gokuron, Kosikai, and 3 another.
Probably the 5 major writings. I think it was the 5 major writings of Nichiren Shōnin.
Yes, and then Nichiren monks came, and it was the meeting now in another Institute of Oriental Studies of Russian Academy of Sciences. It was also a big meeting, and we are so grateful, because this book was published already not in another editorial house, but it was published by the one of the member of our community who like a sponsor of our community. His name is Andrei Dubovitsky. In his publishing house it was published, and it was fully financed by Rishoku Seikai, so we are so grateful for Nichiren School.
You were telling me earlier when we were talking that today throughout there are various areas and countries which comprise the old Soviet Union. There are between 200 and 250 believers today, and many monks also. And
not so many monks.
Not so many monks now. I know some people, you told me earlier, some of the people worked very hard to build the pagodas and propagate the Dharma. Some of the monks also have already passed away.
Yes.
And but many of the believers still continue to propagate the Dharma throughout Russia and the countries which used to comprise the Soviet Union. So thank you very much for this brief introduction of Nipponzan Myōhōji in Russia. And with that, we'd like to finish the first part of our talk.
Okay.